Survivor. Wannabe Solo Survivor. Wannabe Solo Survivor. Wannabe Survivor. Wannabe Solo. Wannabe Solo Survivor. Solo Survivor. Wannabe Survivor. Wannabe Survivor. Wannabe Solo. Wannabe Survivor.
Hi everybody, welcome to episode 1 of Wannabe Solo Survivor, and the topic of today's episode is just going to go over how the progress of the series is going to go. I'll answer a couple questions for you, I guess, to start. Is why solo camping would be the first question. I guess for me, I've been camping most of my adult life, mostly in provincial parks. I wanted to escape from that and try to do camping in backcountry, and I felt that I'm a little bit unprepared for that. There's a lot more you need to know when you're not in a provincial park. I also grew up going to camps in the backcountry of Northern Ontario, but I've always had a camp to go and fall back to. So the whole idea behind this is that I won't necessarily have a fallback like a shelter. Or easily accessible amenities like a bathroom or a shower. You might be wondering what I mean by solo camping. I'm not going to go into the wilderness without a tent, without any cooking items, without a means to start a fire. I'm not going to go and do those things right now. The first step is for me to become prepared and comfortable with going out there in a safe manner. So I'm going to be heading out with a tent on my back and a sleeping pad and a sleeping bag. Hopefully I'll be able to start fires without any problems, cook without any issues. Those are the plans for now. In the future, it would be really great to just go out without a shelter, build my own shelter, and stay overnight and see how I make out. Also, I'd like to involve later on in time maybe some fishing or hunting into it, but those will be, you know, next year sometime, definitely after the first Solo Survivor series. So right now it's just going to be camping and doing the traditional backpacking way, but with whatever gear I have laying around. I also want to incorporate gear reviews into what I'm doing. So I've got you know, different hiking boots that I've been using for a couple years and other sources of equipment that I plan on reviewing and rating. Maybe I'll have to change some of those out. Maybe they're not appropriate for hiking in backcountry. Maybe they're better off for provincial parks and car camping. So I'll go through all of that as time goes on and as the series progresses as well. So I'm going to be making these videos in 10 steps. That doesn't necessarily mean there's going to be 10 videos, but I'm going to have 10 major progressions through the Wannabe Solo Survivor series. So the first step I'm going to be taking is to make a list of whatever gear, food I might need, and just start the planning phase. Step 2 is going to be to go out and survey the area of Crown land that I want to go to. And I'm really excited. I'm going to be heading out just north of Sault Ste. Marie into a backcountry area that is pretty accessible, but leads to tons of acres and hectares of Crown land, and I can just keep going and going if I really want to get more involved with this. So stay tuned for that. That'll be on the second step of everything. Step 3 is going to be to look over all my existing gear and see what's missing and just iron out my gear list and maybe add to it if I have to. Step 4 is going to be to start making the food. That's going to involve dehydrating food, the recipes I'm going to be using, putting all my ingredients together, and maybe I'll even cover how I'm going to bear-proof my food in there. Step 5 is going to be odds and ends videos, so I might test some of my gear out before I head out. I might add some of the dehydrating food portions to that step. I'll play that by ear when I get to it. But there's going to be miscellaneous in there before I start on any hiking. Step 6 is going to be packing up the gear and getting ready for the big trek. So step 7 is going to be the backyard hike, and that's the part where I'm going to go out. I'll do a good long walk with all my gear on my back. I'll end back at home in my backyard, and I won't go into the house unless I have to go to the washroom. I'm not going to go to the washroom out in my yard, but I will do campfires. I'll park my tent, I'll cook my food, and I'll have to weather the elements that are around at this time of year. And it is going to be cold out. It is I'm going to be cold by the time I get there. Not freezing, maybe. We'll see. But that's part of the fun. So I'll learn from that experience, and then we'll move on to step 8, which is going to be a recap. What lessons did I learn, and how am I going to move forward for the real hike? Step 9 is going to be the outdoor preparation. So I'm going to get all of my odds and ends together and officially iron down what I need for the final thing, which is going to be the big hike and traveling into the backcountry. Most of the original area I'm going to scout out is going to be in northern Ontario, just off of Highway 17 north, and it's probably about 30-40 minutes from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. There's a lot of crown land in the back there. I'd like to go in, maybe make base camp near a close neighboring lake and survive in that area. Later on, it would be really fun to go back in there in the middle of the winter time and igloo camp. So that would be a good part 2 of this series, I think. And then as time progresses and my experience progresses, I'd like to make things more challenging. Maybe I'll make the hikes longer or further in. Maybe explore other lakes and areas I haven't seen before, and progress it as time goes on. I'm really excited. I can't wait to get going on this, and this is the official kickoff, so there'll be plenty more videos coming out as I get them recorded, and we're going to move through this thing. We're going to have fun. It's the fall in northern Ontario. I'm going to be cold, so it will be more challenging than just trying to do this in the wintertime, and hopefully we'll all get a good ride through all of this. So hang in there. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And if you have any questions as I'm going along through this, feel free to send me a message, and I'd be more than happy to reply. So thanks a lot. Ruckus in the North here, signing out.